असीम कृपा में रहना, living in infinite grace. Today we are having Vindhya Singh Ghosh with us. इस मंथ हम इंग्लिश सेशंस जो है इस चैनल पे कर रहे हैं. अगले मंथ से वी हैव स्टार्टेड अ न्यू ग्लोबल चैनल सत्वा टॉक्स ग्लोबल. आप लोग उधर भी सब्सक्राइब कीजिएगा. एंड आज का सेशन इंग्लिश में होने वाला है. दीदी इज मोर कंफर्टेबल इन इंग्लिश. और talking about her, she's a very senior art of living teacher, and she is from Middle East. She is an educator, trainer, mentor, and she's in spiritual path. Being in the present moment, she helps herself and others deliver different roles in life as an art of living volunteer, faculty of happiness program, know your child, know your teen stress free teaching, SSCVC for children, and Guru Puja Pandit. She has reached out to many different places in society through these sessions. She has also undergone training as Meru Chikitsa practitioner and brings relief to those who do the sessions. She hails from Kerala, India. Currently, she lives in Muscat, Oman. Professionally, she has worked as an English faculty in Sultan Qaboos University for the last 18 years. And in addition to being a teacher educator, she presents regularly in conferences and conducts workshops for teachers and students in local and international institutions. She is a recipient of SQU Distinguished Researcher Award 2022-2023, Women Icon Award for Outstanding Women uh, Academy Academician 2024. She promotes greening the planet by making plants available to those she connects to. Her journey with AOL started with doing happiness course in 2002. The regular Tuesday meditation sessions give moment of peace to many, and today she is here with us. Didi, today the topic is about infinite grace.
Yes.
How can some experience that infinite grace, Didi?
Oh, what a beautiful way to start the session. Thank you, Abhijit, for choosing to include me in your sessions. I've been listening to the Sattva talks regularly. I didn't know one day I'm going to be featured there. So thank you very much. Um, Grace is such a beautiful thing that money can't buy. Yeah, there's so many things people think you can buy, but certain things you can't buy. And I think, as Gurudev says, right to the happiness program, you move with gratitude and grace flows. Yeah, so the beautiful combination of the three G's, the Guru, gratitude, and grace. The combination of that, I think, is what makes all our lives very, very sorted out and any formula for it. I just know that one need to be grateful for all the blessings one has in life, for having a living guru in our life, for being fortunate enough to walk the path when our guru is in a physical form with us, so accessible and so reachable. Um, Even if you can't physically be with him all the time, you just have to think of him and you feel his presence. So to internalize the presence of one's guru, I think, allows us to be in a flow of grace. This is what I think.
Wonderful, Didi. Didi, how you came in this path, and tell us something about your childhood, then gradually you can share the
Okay.
path.
My mother actually introduced me to transcendental meditation very early in life, and I was, I think, 7 or 8 years. She wants to. She was going for this transcendental meditation session, and she said, "You come along." So I had no idea what it was. So just to give her company, I went along. And I remember there was this session where they talked about a lotus and about a pond, and the pond being very still, and you just think your mind is like the pond, which is very still with lotus. It stayed with me, and I have never meditated after that with my mother like that, but that particular meditation stayed with me. And then I think the first time I was introduced to art of living was when I was in my college. When I'm from Trivandrum, Kerala, and Trivandrum was just gearing up for art of living, and there was the first session which was being conducted in tandem Gopalakrishnan uncle's house, and the uncle was a family friend of ours. So they were organizing this course, and my parents went for the course. And as children, we did not go. So I remember Amma coming back, and she's after the first day, and she was so full of joy about sharing what she experienced in the course. That is way back in 1991, I think she did the course. And then she came back home and she said, and I was a very rational kind of being at that point in time. I said, Amma, what are you getting into? Do you have any idea? And all that, and then those were the days when Gurudev used to come on the last day of the course. So Amma had the experience of seeing Gurudev on the last day of the course. But I didn't go for that course, for some reason I didn't go. But then when the second course was announced, out of curiosity, I went for the course because they were doing this Bastrika at home and I had no clue what they were doing and I found it interesting. And so I said, let me go and check out what's happening. So I went and did the course. And my God, that was blind blowing for me. And I still remember this Who Are You session, when we did this Who Are You session. I still remember my partner. And she asked me, Who are you? And after two, three Who Are Yous, I just started crying. And I had no clue why I was crying. I was crying and crying and crying. And then the teacher said, teacher was Vinod Menon. He had come to Trivandrum to take the course. And he said, let her just cry. Don't tell her to stop. Let her cry. So I cried and cried and cried without knowing why I was crying. And then again, the last day of the course, Gurudev came for that course. And we all took blessings from Gurudev. At that time, one doesn't understand the significance of Gurudev actually coming to your course and what it means. But today, when you look back, you feel so blessed. Oh my God, what was that experience all about? That's how you feel. So that's how I started my journey in 1992.
Didi, how the journey progressed further, please tell.
Yes. I took my time actually because I was a little bit of a skeptic, a science student, slightly rational in my thinking. I would have this wonderful moments. I'll still rationalize and logically analyze it and say, no, no, I'm not getting into this whole chakkar. It's one big scam and all. I used to have my concepts in my mind. So I took my time, and I think it's after I married my husband, who was a Bengali, and I moved to Calcutta. When I moved to Calcutta, that's when I became really close with the chapter. I had a lot of free time after I used to be a teacher trainer at that time. So I had a lot of free time. So I would go and finish my work, and I connected to a few senior teachers there in Calcutta. And then I would assist them and get the divine shop. Those days you had to take your divine shop in a bag and go and set it up well in advance, put all the mats, and the teacher would just come and sit. And then you're in charge of doing everything in that hall. And that part excited me, getting everything organized. And after that, packing up everything and, taking the bag home and then back to the center and all of that. So I used to love doing all that. And we used to have regular satsangs there. I used to love those satsangs. No, I'm not a singer myself. I used to love the company of the people and the songs and all of that. That got me really involved. And I used to pull my husband and say, chalo, chalo, let's go. And so I was very, very active in Calcutta at that point in time. And then my husband got this job in Muscat. And so suddenly he came to Muscat. And 1 year I was alone in Calcutta. So I continued with my seva and, I would keep doing things. And then I also joined him back in Muscat. So when I came in Muscat, I had all this training in Calcutta where teachers were, really there supporting us. And as a team, we worked. So people found it very interesting. I was willing to do anything and everything. You just had to tell me and I would do it. It's like that. And so I remember Kamal Kimji said, you must go for TTC. I said, no, 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 not TTC and all. I'll be a volunteer. I enjoy being a volunteer and I think I'll stay there. So no, no, you have to go. And then I had to get Vinod Menon's signature, and that was so difficult to get at that point in time because he had by then become such a big man, and it's so difficult to get access to Vinod Menon. And people said, "Are you sure you really learned from Vinod Menon? She was your teacher." I said, "Really, I really learned from Vinod Menon the first time." So that's how the whole journey went. So it was just, I didn't plan anything. I really didn't plan. I was just with whatever I was being asked to do, and there I was going for TTC and coming back. And one fine day, I'm told I'm a teacher, and and the manual was given to me and said, "Go and teach." And it's like, am I supposed to teach now? It's like that.
Didi, every story have some ups and downs,
Yes.
and Gurudev always tries to make us more strong by giving us
Yes.
challenges and situations.
Yes.
Tell me some of your situations that you now maybe you can look back
Yes.
and laugh about it, but that time it was really a situation.
Yes. I had health issues actually. I had major gynecological issues ever since I was a teenager. I had an ovarian cyst at the age of 21. Actually, before I did the course, I had the first ovarian cyst, and then just before the marriage, again, I had a second ovarian cyst. My left ovary, right ovary, it was all a mess actually. I wasn't sure what's happening. Um, and then they had to surgically remove portions of my ovary and things like that. It was too, I was too young to, process this whole thing and see it in a very mature manner that it's a part of life. No, I was really upset. I mean, part of me being a woman is all about my ovaries. And if you take away my ovaries, how will I remain a woman? I mean, that was the question I had. So Amma was a very strong lady, and she said, "No, Vindhya, it's okay. If it's not gone, there's something remaining there. Something will happen in your life, so it's going to be okay." So it's like, so maybe it was her personality which allowed me to flow with all this without much of a problem. And then before I got married to my husband, I remember telling him, "This is my situation, and I'm not sure whether even I would have a baby and things like that. So before you think of deciding to marry me, you think well, and then you marry me because I have no idea how life will go forward." Maybe it's the honesty with which I said all this. He said, "No, I'm marrying you. I'm not marrying your body." And that one sentence, stayed on with me, so it was not easy going through that entire phase of medical checkups and, knowing parts of your body is being surgically removed and that are crucial parts of your body which makes you a woman, and that's how it was. But I got back to Gurudev on this, and Gurudev, I remember going to Rishikesh for an advanced course from Calcutta. I just took a train on my own. I just felt, there's these moments when you feel very drawn and you feel you have to go. So I did this last minute booking for Rishikesh, took a train all by myself. I've never been to Rishikesh all my life. And so I went from Calcutta to Rishikesh, and I managed to meet Gurudev, giving all kinds of funny ways of functioning. And I said, should I go for IVF or something like that? He said, no, you don't know what soul will come. And that was such an eye opener for me. He said, you don't know what kind of soul is coming. Don't go for IVF. And that's all he said. And then several years, maybe 2 years later, I went back to him, and I felt I need to get his blessings if I need to move forward in life. And he said, adopt children. And he asked me, he blessed me, and I went ahead, and my son came into my life. And then 5 years later, 4 years later, again, my daughter came into my life, all with Gurudev's blessings and Gurudev's
Acha, acha,
guidance. What
Didi,
more will I say, Abhishek? It's, we know I am.
this is very interesting sometimes because you said what
Hmm.
kind of soul will come that Gurudev said.
Yes,
Many
yes,
people opt for IVF.
yes.
So it's like spiritually some kind of mystical thing, like it happens.
I don't know. I don't know. He never elaborated on it, but he was very clear, don't do it. And I listened to that and then took this train back after the advanced course, trying to figure out what did he mean by that. And I just knew, whatever my guru has said, I'm going to follow that. And I never went that path again. So I don't know what really was the larger significance of that. I left it at that. So
See,
that's how it's been.
yes. See, the soul is something, the journey of soul is very different because somewhere or the other, your two kids had that destiny that
Yes,
you will be there with them. And somehow
yes.
things, the higher game plan happened. Didi, please continue your story. It seems very interesting.
So, so it's like, when my son, he's called Viraj Krishna. Viraj is Vindhya's V and Rajat's Raj. So we put it Viraj, Viraj Krishna. And I had to have Krishna in the name because I was so much in love with Krishna all the time. So it had to be Krishna. So I took blessings from Gurudev. In fact, Gurudev, we took him for the Vidyarambham to Gurudev, and Gurudev is the one who initiated him to knowledge and all during the Navratri during that time. But to go behind it, what shall I say? How shall I say? I just know that there's a lot of intuitive guidance that you get from your guru, and if you're receptive to it, you just flow for it. However illogical it might sound to another person, and I generally, if I feel strongly about it, I just go with it, and I just see where it takes me. And then it takes me to such amazing possibilities that I would not have done it had I had a logical interpretation of my life, honestly. That's how it's been with both the children. And they've been amazing human beings, and they blossom so beautifully in life. And it's like, I feel his Gurudev's presence so much through them every day. In fact, my son's pet name is Guru. I call him Guru so that I'm reminded of my Guru every single day. When he's getting angry, when he's he used to be very naughty when he was small. I say Guru, and then I think, my God, I'm calling Guruji, and I can't scold Guru. So the tones of the Guru would keep changing. But then I felt Guruji was always with me when even now when I call him Guru, all his friends call him Guru. So it's like that. I really don't know where to begin and end, So if you ask me, I'll give you specific
Didi,
answers.
India is a very comfortable country when it comes to celebrating Navratri, Shivratri, and all the things which is happening. And there are many things like going out and knocking the
Your
doors.
voice is breaking, Bhaiya.
My voice is clear. I guess there's a internet connection problem over there, if I'm not wrong with
Yes, now it's clear. Now it's clear. Yes.
Yes. So
Yes, yes.
I was saying
Yeah.
that India is very comfortable when it comes to this celebrations, Navratri and all, and Shivratri we do. And when it comes to happiness goals, also we can go and tell our neighbors. Maybe in some metropolitan cities it is restricted, but generally in most of the India we can talk to the people and directly bang them on their face and say, "Oh, hello, you do this course. This is wonderful." You were there in Kolkata. You were very active volunteer. You were doing so many things. Suddenly, everything changed. Where when you were in Muscat. So, how you started over there?
Muscat had a very vibrant chapter. Is a vibrant chapter. It always have been. Maybe because the Kimjis live here and they are so good at organizing everything in the Middle East. So Kamal Kimji and Ajay Kimji, they are here. And so when I first came here, there was a teacher called Kavita, who was a very senior teacher. And I remember assisting her courses and being there with her quite a lot with her courses. And she was one of the most amazing human beings I've met. Very calm and very and yet very dynamic. Combination of calmness with dynamism was something I really loved about her. Unfortunately, we lost her many years back. So she became unwell and then she passed away, and that left a huge void in all of us in the chapter actually. But she was the one who took me into her fold and guided me what to do, how to do. And those days we had these manual flyers, so any teacher announcing the course, they would give the flyers to the volunteers, and then we would go from place to place, and actually we had to take municipality permission to distribute the flyers. So the chapter would take the permission, and then we would go from place to place and actually talk to people and give the flyers. Or we would go to the temple and distribute it. When people come out of the temple, they're in this nice state of mind after they've prayed, and then we'll say, okay, do this course, can I take your number? And then I'll have a notebook where I'll put all the numbers down, and then I would go contact them, and whoever is ready, whichever teacher is taking the course, we wish to so we had volunteer teams here. At that time, we still have volunteer teams, and we have different sub centers, actually 3 or 4 sub centers where Kriya follow-ups are regularly conducted. And then so every Friday, we have Friday and Saturdays holidays for us here. So Fridays we have our follow-ups, and from there people do people talk to each other, and it's mostly by word of mouth that people come to courses, actually. So if somebody had a good experience in the course, they would send their friends along, or they would send their relatives along. So it's mostly word of mouth, actually. At least for me, it's been like that. I take Malayalam courses also. I was blessed to be given the Malayalam manual. So first time I had to take the Malayalam course, I had all butterflies in my stomach because, speaking Malayalam is one thing. Seeing Gurudev's knowledge in Malayalam is no joke. And that a very knowledgeable Malayali sitting in front of you, are very critical by nature as a community. Wow, that was. But then, the first time it happened, then I realized you don't take courses. Gurudev takes the courses. You just have to sit there. He does the rest of it. Then those Malayalam courses is a living example. And some of those volunteers have now gone on to become teachers. And I'm still in touch with some of those volunteers way back in about 15 years ago when they first came, and we had this very good group. We had Onam celebrations as a result of it. Now we have annual Onam celebrations, like that. So yes, the volunteer base gets built up, and it's more of personal connect with people, and sustained long-term personal connect with people, which allows courses to happen. Just like in any other place. And I must say, I took a Bengali course also, by the way, without a manual. So I speak Bengali because my husband is Bengali. So, I had to talk to my mother-in-law and give her the best possible version of myself. So I learned Bengali. So I speak Bengali. So I told Gurudev, help me. I only know how to speak Bengali. I can't take the manual in Bengali. So I can't read Bengali. But I'm happy to say that I did the first Bengali course for one person because he knew no other language other than Bengali. And this is why I'm saying, the whole thing is about grace. You just be willing to do things and things will happen.
Didi, it's very interesting that you have taken courses in different languages, and it is very interesting for us to know one more thing, that it is not so that what we think in India. In India, what we think that okay, there we need to do many things. We can't tell about the course.
No.
It is very restricted, and all the things is
In
like
fact, Abhishek, in fact, I did for my teacher, my colleagues. I teach at the university, and my own colleagues, I named it mindfulness sessions, and people come for these sessions, and we would have meditation. We'll do Panchakosha meditation together, and we do yoga before the Panchakosha. I'll actually make them jump and run around in their official formal wear, and then we'll sit down for Panchakosha meditation. So I think it's a space we come from. If we feel the world is your family and everybody in this world is your family, then Gurudev works through you beautifully. You really connect to people because you don't see those barriers anymore. I did for students also. I did the same mindfulness session because one student came and told me I'm unable to study and concentrate before exam. I feel very, very scared. I said, Chalo, you organize a small session. It's easier if you organize it because I don't know how to get this organized. So in about 2 weeks, she said, I'm ready with 20 people. Can you do the session? I said, you announce the date and time and venue, I'm coming. So I did a session for them. So we had PowerPoint presentation. They structured it differently. We had a PowerPoint presentation. What is mindfulness? How do you do mindful studying? All that, and then finally gave that Panchakosha and all these tips. What in happiness program in few minutes we kind of gave it through that mindfulness, and students went back with that.
wow. Did you share some instance of Gurudev coming to Oman and
Gurudev
some
hasn't come to
story?
Oman yet. It's like, the in Malayalam it's called Verambal. I don't know what that bird is called in other. Verambal waits for the rain to come. And Verambal keeps waiting and keeps waiting for the rain to come. We haven't stopped waiting. We are still waiting. And every year we wait for Gurudev, and Gurudev says, I'll come when the time is right. So he's come to Dubai, he's come to Bahrain, he's come to Sharjah, and we have to all travel to all these places to meet him. So Middle East becomes one place for us when he comes in the region, and we'll all pack our bags either by cars or flights or something. We'll reach there, wherever he's come. So Dubai recently, I think sometime back, not this time I could not go. The previous time I went and met him.
But
Before he
share
came.
some Guru stories around Gurudev. What he,
Okay, okay, Guru
see,
stories.
Didi, let me tell you, let me brief you. We
Uh,
all are like, means if someone says, can you listen to Guru stories whole night? We all are ready.
yes.
And if someone says, okay, at 2 o'clock in the midnight, I will share you some Guru stories, then we all sitting here, all these are so much passionate about listening
I
to Guru
know.
stories. They can wake up at 2 a.m. in the mid of the night and they can listen to Guru stories. So, Didi, please, if you can
Okay,
share
I'll
some
tell you my
Guru
favorite
stories.
Guru story. Okay, this happened when during the first when in Bangalore we had the World Cultural Festival the first time. So I was in Calcutta at that time, and we had a whole train booked to come to Calcutta. So the whole train was booked, and only Calcutta volunteers and teachers were there in that train. So we came to Calcutta, to Bangalore, and we were put up in different hotels. And then after the session, I somehow felt I needed to go to Mugambiga. I didn't have an idea where is Mugambiga. I didn't know why this thought was coming to me, but I just kept having this thought, you need to go to Mugambiga temple. So I went to the hotel reception and asked, where is Mugambiga temple and how far is it? Actually, those days don't Google map and all that, so you really don't know how far it is. So I looked at the internet, and I, from Bangalore, it's like an overnight journey to Mugambiga. So this is very, I don't know whether it's an adventurous thing or a very courageous thing. I just take it up like that. So I called up my husband and said, I think I need to go to Mugambiga and then I'll come back to Calcutta. So I had to de-link from the Calcutta group, cancel my ticket, which was a group ticket, and then I had to book it for another day. And then I decided to go to Mugambiga overnight by bus. I really had no idea where I was going. I just had faith with which I was going. I just knew I had to go, and I didn't know why I had to go. So it was like that. And I lost my purse suddenly. Suddenly, I got my bag ready and all that, and I realized I've misplaced my purse. It was just not there. It was just not there, and I had very limited cash at that time. I ended up borrowing with actually I borrowed from strangers who I didn't even know. And I said, this is my number. This is where I work. I will go back to Calcutta and I'll give you back this money. But I need this money because I need to go to Mugambika. And the person said, okay, I'll give you the money. And I get this money from two strangers, and I write down the addresses and all that. And I go to the bus station and I go to Mugambika, reach early in the morning. Then I understand there's a river called Sauparnika where everybody takes a bath before they go to the temple, especially if you come the first time to Mugambika. So I went there and I didn't take a room or anything. I just went there, took a bath, changed my clothes with my bag. I went to the temple. And then they said there is a Chandi Homa happening there. And there is a very important sage who's coming. And they were all waiting. And so I also waited. And I thought if it's a very important sage, I should give something. I mean, you should show some respect to the person. So I bought a mala. I really didn't know why I was buying a mala. And there I was standing with a mala. And then I understand it's Gurudev who's coming. There was a helicopter sound, and the helicopter sound was coming all the way. And in the culture festival, it was impossible to meet Gurudev. And I had a wish. I wish I could meet him personally. I had this wish. And there he transported me Muga Ambiga so that I can see him personally. I ended up putting that mala on him. Can you imagine, Abhijit? Can you imagine this? I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And then there was the pradakshina that he was doing. And so all the people moved. I also moved. along. It was like I was crazy. I probably was crazy that day. And then I moved, and then the Adi Shankaracharya place, he sat down and he chanted, and we were all standing outside, and he came out. And I had nothing to tell or ask or anything, just this bonus that I got for the culture festival, having lost my purse and having canceled my ticket. And oh my God, it shifted my life altogether. This one incident told me that life is not about what you plan. Life is about what you move forward with the thoughts that you have. That's it. At least for me, it is. That's how it is, Abhijit. So there I was, and the same day I came back at night, and I next day I got a return ticket, and then I went back to Calcutta. And my friends were saying, if why didn't you tell me that you were going to see Gurudev? I said, I didn't know I was going to meet Gurudev. I just knew I had to go there. That's it. So this is my favorite guru story, Abhijit. And then, of course, the first time he blessed me and asked me to go and bring the first child in my life. I had no idea, Abhijit, how this was going to happen. So I registered with the Central Adoption Agency. My husband was very supportive. I had to convince my in-laws and my parents, and all this is going to be a very normal, okay thing to do, simply because Gurudev has blessed. So we should go ahead with it. It required a lot of public relations and marketing within the family to get approval and consent and blessings and all that. But we went ahead, and then the whole journey of how my son came into our life is so beautiful. We went to Calicut, and from Calicut, we went to this one center, and there he was. I saw him, and that's it. I signed the papers. That's it.
How many years old he was?
He was 3 months.
Oh. 3 months means someone like how these people.
I don't know the story. I chose not to know the story.
Oh.
To date, I don't know the story. My daughter was 5 years when she came, and it was a similar story. Shara had sent some pictures, and I opened the first one along with my husband and said, "Chalo, let's go bring the girl home." That's it. We took a flight from Muscat. We went to Punjab. I've never been to Punjab before. Yes, I went for a conference long ago, and then we went to this particular place and this particular center, and there she was. She just walked, came and she just came. That's it, and we had to go home. That's it. She was 5 years.
Then you also means didn't bother to know her story also.
Yeah. So it's like, when you put these things in words, it sounds very shallow, and I can't express what it is like. But I just know that, each of us, we should just walk with tremendous faith that we are in the right place, doing the right thing at the right point in time. And that's about it. And however, as I said, however illogical it might seem to your logical mind, there's a reason why we do what we do and why we are here on this planet and what our roles in our lives are meant to be. And for me, it's been like that, Abhijit. So I don't know if tomorrow Gurudev says go to Mars and plant some trees there, I probably will go simply because he said.
Didi, your husband is something which like it requires a lot of courage
Yes.
to all the things. Can you tell like how you came across each other?
He was my senior, actually. After my MA in English, I studied up to MA in Trivandrum, Kerala. Then I went to Hyderabad for higher studies. This is a PG diploma in teaching of English. So I met him there. He was my senior there. He was already on campus. This is the Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages. So he was already doing his MPhil there. He was my senior and a very intelligent, bright, all-rounder senior, very popular. So I had a very close Bengali friend, and he was known to that friend. So we had a common friend, and so that what was like a friend's friend became my friend. And then one day he proposed, and I said no.
Oh,
I've not come here to marry you. I've come here to study. I need to go back. That's what I promised my parents. I've not come here for a marriage proposal. So it took a while, about 2.5 years. Finally, I said yes, and then we got married. Yeah.
took two
And
and a half years to say yes.
yeah.
And he waited 2.5 years.
Yeah, because it
Oh,
was a very difficult thing. I was from Kerala, he was from Calcutta, and he had taken up a job in Assam. So I had to move all the way to Assam. And I'm the only daughter. I've got a brother. So, I didn't know what I was getting into. And then I prayed again. I prayed and I felt maybe that's the right thing. Yeah, we
nice.
married for 27 years. We fight quite a bit, but we're still, yeah.
Acha, he is also Art of Living teacher.
No, he's not. But he's a strong volunteer. He says one teacher is enough in the family because who will take care of the children when the one teacher goes out to, he's always been supportive. When I take classes, he's the one who takes care of the children and takes care of the household and everything if I go out. So he said that's enough because I also work and I've always told him he should go for TTC and Guru Puja and all that. But he says, no, this is enough. So that's it.
Yes, at least he is a strong volunteer. That's a big sign. And
Yes.
these days, Didi, let me tell you, these days in 2.5 years, if someone says wait for some time and all, they have two and a
Yeah,
half
yeah.
more relationships in between.
Well, I
So,
needed to make sure I'm making the right choice.
hmm,
As I told you, I had health issues and things like that. So, I wasn't sure whether I should drag somebody else into the whole thing.
Acha, Didi, on a lighter note,
Hmm.
there is someone who is watching this session and who has also, in the
Hmm.
same line, who has proposed some girl and
Uh-huh. Is
expecting.
that you?
No, no, no. I'm married. I'm having a
You're
kid.
married.
Yes. I have just waited for 2 months hardly. He said, okay, जल्दी शादी कराओ अब हो गया. ज्यादा फोन पे बात करेंगे तो कान दुखता है फिर.
Tell
So
me, you were saying something.
I was saying like someone who is watching this session and he's in the same zone. How much do you suggest him he should wait for that person?
Don't wait too long because modern
Well,
times
but in your
different.
case, he has waited for 2.5 years.
It
So,
depends on the conviction of the people concerned.
yes. So there,
Because
there was
I
a hope,
waited
hope.
long. I had to wait long because I had objection in my family, and my father said no, and very strongly no. So I didn't want to hurt him, and I didn't want to. That's why it delayed a little.
So he had some hope. Okay, after some time, it might turn into a yes, or
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
were like absolutely like, okay, get out of my life or something like
The
that.
first time I said that, but then the second time I thought, my God, this person is persistent.
Yes.
I think
So,
if it's meant to be Abhijit, it will happen, come what may. And I think when you take these kind of off out of the box decisions, you have to pray, and you have to pray directly to God. You know, God, Guru, whatever you feel close to, whatever is whatever energy has given you this life on this planet, pray to that energy and say, guide me. What am I supposed to do with this lifetime? What roles am I supposed to take? Is this the right decision to do? Guide me, show me what I should do, and leave it at that. And then, things fall in place, and then you know what to do. For me, at least, that's how it works.
yes. So I would also suggest like
Do
the
that.
people, the mind of
But
people change.
if people
Yes.
instinctively feel it's the right thing, then you should pray about it. And if you still feel it's the right thing, just go ahead
Yes.
and go and meet Gurudev, take blessings, and he'll tell you whether it's okay or not.
Yes. Sometimes you have to have that gut feeling inside you. Okay, this is the right decision.
And I
And this,
think when the more we meditate, the more we be with ourselves, the more we be with nature, the more we connect to nature, I think um, we just know what is to be done, I guess.
Didi, these days it's very common. Like if we ask any other person, okay, arrange marriage or love marriage, they will say,
Hmm.
okay, love marriage, we don't
Mm.
want and all. But back in 90s, you had a
Yes.
movie, a very nice movie of your life. And
Yes.
that
And it
time
was
you you didn't have any reference point also, because that time movies were not that easy to watch. I don't know, maybe it was so
Mm.
easy and all, but reference points were less. So
Mm.
having love marriage that time is really a different vibe altogether.
True, true, true.
Convincing
That's why I took a
parents,
little time because I needed time to think and be sure and all of that.
uh, convincing your parents, convincing the in-laws and all, and
I had a
getting
whole lot of
married.
relatives who supported me, and that was a great help. So my
That's
relatives convinced my parents. I got my relatives to convince my parents.
mm, wow.
Mm.
So I guess Gurudev have brought you both together somehow or the other,
Yes.
so that you can mean see. Uh, Before marriage, you have also told about this thing like, okay, it will be difficult for me to have babies and all. But see, so if someone can wait for 2.5 years for a girl, then
Yes.
obviously the person has some very strong instinct that he will support
Yes.
all the decisions you take, and
Yes.
that's interesting. Didi, one thing I just want to ask you. You
Hmm.
have been doing many things for the society and you have won various awards.
Yes.
Uh, how this story unfolded? And because you were there just a volunteer, and after that you have joined college. But
Hmm.
how, when you started thinking about doing something for the society and all, and please tell that part.
Abhijit, it's like this, when we are a human being, we have different qualities God has bestowed us with, and it's our responsibility to use it to the best of our ability as long as we live. And I found out early in life that I really love studying. I just love studying for the sake of studying, not for anything else. Just I like knowledge, the pursuit of knowledge. So even when I was a volunteer, I used to go and listen to Ashtavakra Gita early morning, 5 o'clock. We would be in the teacher's house, get up at 3:34, take a metro and go, and we used to do all kinds of things. Uh, my first job was as a teacher trainer. So when I became a teacher trainer, and I was very young. All my participants were older than me with much more experience. And here I was a young teacher trying to tell them how to teach when they already know how to teach. So I said, see, I have to learn from you. You have to learn from me. I mean, we have to learn from each other. I will give you the latest of what is happening in the field, and you tell me your experience, which I don't have. So it worked out very comfortable for each of us. And that is what made me realize. So I was working in this teacher training institute in Calcutta immediately after my marriage. And 4 years I worked there. And that was a life changer for me because by the time I had cleared the UGC NET exam, I had the JRF cleared. So I was clear I wanted to do research. So even if I was Art of Living volunteer, I was clear I want to pursue academics because, as I said, if you have certain skills God has bestowed with you, it's your responsibility to make sure you use it to the best of your ability so that you can serve people better. This is the space I come from. So I studied, I did my MPhil, I did my PhD, went on to do my PhD, and then
You have done your PhD in which
yes,
subject, by the way, Didi?
English language education.
Oh,
English language education. My topic was on vocationalizing English to enhance the employability of Indian graduates and how employability skills can be developed in Indian graduates. That was my thesis. So there was a lot of field work that needed to be done. I actually met students, teachers, administrators, got their feedback, and with that triangulated data, my thesis was submitted. It was well received. Inputs from that is even now used for workshops and seminars when I go. Parts of it are taken and shared with people, saying that these are things that maybe you should look in your classrooms and see how you can make it better for your students and so on. So I think learning whether it's academics, whether it's a spiritual journey, they should all go hand in hand for every human being. And there should not be any gender distinction about it. Because it's a woman, the woman should not pursue a career. That's not true. You can pursue a career, you can take care of your family, you can take care of your voluntary work, and you can still have some time for yourself. It's a question of juggling time, managing time, and still finding some space for yourself. It's probably involves getting up a little more early than usual for other people. So that these are things about the awards that I got. Yeah, several stages of life. It's just that, you don't study for an award. You study because you love to study and you enjoy the knowledge which you're connecting to. And the byproduct of it ends up an award here and there. That's about it.
Didi, what's your purpose of life? What do you think? What's the sole purpose? Like last time you cried when someone asked, "Who are you?" But somewhere or the other, I guess these questions were really important for you.
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, Gurudev says that don't get into a concept, but still, I would like to ask you, what's your
That's
purpose?
okay.
What do you think?
I don't know, Abhijit. I think it's like I want to be in the presence of God 24 into 7 if I can, and feel the presence not only in me, but the presence of God in the other I see around me. Because if you say you come from God and you go back to God and you are from God, then God is present everywhere, isn't it? But to make it a practical experience for you have to start with yourself. You have to start with realizing that the divine spark of God is within you and with everybody in you. The physical body is only a vehicle for the soul to travel. So one has to go beyond the physical body to connect to the soul that you are talking to, because you're not talking to a person, you're not talking to a physical body, connecting soul to soul. So I think the more we can connect soul to soul in our interactions with people, it becomes a beautiful experience. And then, of course, we all have our vasanas. It's not like very simple, we have all our vasanas and we all have doshas and we all have emotional ups and downs and the good side and the not so good side of us. So all this will manifest in our interactions. But then at the end of the day, if we can reflect about it and say, let me connect back as much as I can. From my end, let me do what I can. From the other end, even if I may have hardships to deal with or not so pleasant experience to deal with, from my end, let me do what I can as long as I live on this planet. Khalas, that's it. That way, the expectation level with Guruji says, no, it reduces joy. True, it's very true. If you keep down the expectation, then it becomes easy to handle life. Your end, you do what you can, and that's it.
Yes. Most of the people these days struggle to find this, like, okay, what's my sole purpose? And that's why I was playing that video. I was watching that video repeat in the loop mode,
Uh,
and suddenly it happened to be 9 p.m. I thought, like, okay, let's show this video to all the people. Like the presence of God, you said. Somewhere or the other, I came across a person, and she said, I had so many hardships in my life, and now, so that I don't remember my past, I have kept myself fully busy in all the things. And I just, something resonated in me, and I thought, like, these most people do these days. Like, yes, like, let me prove myself, let me show my aggression, and they achieve also some or the other thing in their life. Because of that, some pain is there, and with that pain they achieve something. So you have also been in a successful person. Does achieving through pain is a wrong concept? Because most of the people do it while they are cracking big exams, while they are doing big things, they have something of pain they are really ignoring, and they direct that all aggression into studies, they direct that all aggression into achieving something. They hurt themselves
Mm.
and they achieve something extraordinary. And I have seen few people like that. What's wrong in it, do you think, Didi?
Because they're goal focused. Don't focus on the goal, focus on the process, focus on the experience of doing something, whether it's your studies, whether it's your career, whatever you're doing, focus on that. And then the byproduct of it is your career development and your promotion and your bonus and your new career. All of that is the byproduct. I think it's important not to focus on the byproduct and get stressed about it, because anyway the byproduct will come if you deliver quality work, if you are the best version of yourself at your workplace, and you will go that extra mile simply because you love to do it. You see an opportunity and you don't want to keep it to yourself, you want to share that opportunity to everybody. Maybe you can't do it immediately, but somebody else can do it, so why don't you share it with everybody so that somebody among your colleagues can do it? So if you bring in a team spirit among your colleagues, that you don't have to keep success as your private journey. Make it a collective journey of success for everybody. Maybe I won't achieve what you achieved, but I'm happy you achieved it because you're part of my team. We are part of this organization, and we all part of this whole family called whatever that organization is. So I think if you come from that space of all of us are together in this journey, all of us are at different phases in life, but that's okay if we can support each other. Yeah, I think, and enrich each other with the expertise we have, because each of us may have our own expertise. And so if I share my expertise to somebody and that's somebody shares their expertise to, it's a win-win situation. Both of us benefit from having shared it. I happen to be the course leader of the teacher of a course called English of Business, and I have teachers who work with me. So I never go on to a managerial kind of position. It's always like we as a team. So I'm going to learn from you, you learn from me. And together, and we have what is called, um, we have called what's called community of practice, So um, the best practices which worked in our classroom, we share for 10 minutes at the end of the meeting. So each teacher is given a chance. Whoever wants to share, they can share. And we learn so much from each other simply because I give that space for people to just be themselves and just to share. So I think when you talk about pain, there is no need to experience pain. There is no
Yes,
need
because I
to.
have seen like if somewhere or the other I have experimented this also.
Hmm.
I met a lady in ashram, and I know what hardship she has gone through. And once I started talking about it, she said, "Oh no, don't talk about it. If I remember that, I feel so much stressed and frustrated. I'm now focusing on a different thing right now. There is some kind of a trauma which has
Hmm.
happened in the past,
Hmm.
and once the people sit quiet, they sit in meditation, they can't bear it. They That's why they keep every time themselves busy. Because
I
when
think
we will talk about it, and then they all the things which has gone under the carpet gets up. So
I think we should just remove the carpet and look at the things under the carpet squarely, straight, straightforward. Look at it. What is it giving me pain? What is it that I can't handle? What is it that I've overcome and moved on? And once you look at it and deal with it, then the rest becomes like a story that you can tell later without the pain attached to it because you've handled it. Often the problem is, Abhijit, I think, at least that's what I've observed, that people are running away from their reality. They don't want to face what they have to face. If you face it squarely and say, call it a spade, and say, this is what it is. This is what I'm experiencing. This is really difficult for me, and this is really painful for me. But I'm going to go through it because this is not the end of me. This is just a corner I'm turning to the next part of my life, and it's the next chapter of my life is waiting for me. So why I'm going to stop with this chapter? I'm not going to stop with this chapter. Okay, this chapter has a little bit of pain, but my next chapter might be a better one. So I'm going to move on while I tell the story. So that's okay. So I think it's important when you deal with a pain by looking at it directly. And often the pain is not the thing we are talking about. It might be deeper subconscious experiences which might start from childhood. There might be patterns that you may have in your life which are repetitive because you've not dealt with it. You know, when you have a crisis in life and you don't deal with it, it comes back to you again and again and again. And you see there is a pattern happening in your life. At some point, you have to stop and say, okay, I'm going to look at this and see what is really happening with me. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening again and again? Is it something to do with my personality? Is it something to do with the way I handle such situations? Is it something which I have to step up and become more clear about my boundaries? Where am I getting this pain from? And once we introspect that, and then surrender it to Gurudev or surrender it to God, surrender it to the divine who created you and say, help me handle this. I feel there is a problem here. I need to handle this. I don't seem I to be doing it the right way. Help me handle it. And leave it at that. You figure out a stronger version of you emerges from this introspection. And the next time you have something to deal with, you're much better equipped to deal with. At least you know how to walk away gracefully without getting into a trauma about it. I say, okay, it's a part of my life. I mean, I'm going to deal with it and I'm going to handle it and I'll keep going with that smile on my face. Not just one on my face, in my heart. I'm going to keep the smile in my heart and I'm not going to let anybody take that away from me. But I think the more we practice it, the more it becomes a reality for us.
Hmm. Wow.
I think we should confront what is difficult for us. If we confront it and we look at it, it's like, if a lion comes and roars at you, look at the eyes of the lion and say, okay, you're roaring. So now what next? The lion will actually move away simply
Mm.
because you looked straight into the eyes of the lion.
Yes. And I also resonated with and said all to the all people. Many people tell me like when I sit with my eyes closed, all the negative thoughts starts coming inside. Deal
Mm.
with it. Take the mantra. And I guess that's the main thing. Like somewhere or the other, when we are not sitting with ourselves, with all emptiness and meeting ourselves, then the whole essence of the game is lost somewhere or the
And
other. That
nature
I
has so
feel.
much to teach us, Abhijit. Nature has so much to. Today I was seeing a little bird, a small bird. There's these
Mm,
electric wires on which there are six wires there. And this bird is so microscopic. We tried to take a photograph, you can't even take it. It's so small. It is sitting there and it's trying to take out the wire from one of those from the one of the lines, probably to make a nest, take it to its nest. It doesn't realize it's not a branch or it's not a thing. It's dangerous to sit there. It's just, it is coming back again and again and trying to take it out. And I was thinking, look at that bird. It doesn't know what it's getting into, but it's so focused about what it wants to do. And it actually get that wire and go and put it in its nest. I'm sure if you go and check its nest, there would be wires like that, probably
mhm,
to strengthen the nest. So I think we just have to go and do what we need to do. That's it. I mean, the more
mm.
we analyze the past and bring the past experience into our present, we lose the present, don't we? The past is
Absolutely.
past. Okay, it is a traumatic experience or it is a painful experience. It's not a happy one. But then what do you do with it? You just have to move on.
Yes,
Hopefully
absolutely.
with some lessons learned, and you come out stronger and you learn some things from that experience. So the next time you encounter something like that, or you see somebody encountering something like that, you're in a better position to reflect on what is happening.
Mm,
And ultimately, what is it? We are born, we will die. Everything we experience, we're going to leave it here and go.
mm,
And we can't even carry this body with us.
true.
Nothing we carry other than knowledge. Gurudev says, no, other than there are only two things we carry with us back when we die. How much knowledge have you gained and how much love have you given? So just work on those two things. That's it.
Mm, absolutely.
Again, he says, how much love have you given? Not how much have you taken. How much have you given? We
Mm,
complain, no, that person is not looking at us, that person is not doing that, doing this. How much have we given?
mm,
I,
absolutely.
I struggle with this sometimes because you have your expectations in your family structure. You expect a few things from people. Then I tell myself, yeah, no. How much can I give is what I should focus on. It's stay there.
Hmm. The focus shifts. And
But I
obviously,
think we once we are at peace with these two things, we
mm,
focus on seeing how knowledge can be gained and how much love we can give. And that's it. When we are ready to go, we are ready to go. When God calls us, we are ready to go. If it's today, maybe after this, I won't be alive on this planet. I'm perfectly fine with that.
mm, wow. And I guess may, this is required somewhere or the other. We should be having that positive approach, or and it will come gradually, I guess.
Yes, yes,
People,
yes.
when we are in this path, many people do sadhana, but they are nowhere related to seva, so they introspect too much or think too much. When they get into actual seva mode, then they feel the expansion. Oh yes. And it feels when we do, when we are like doing something really big, we can actually feel our consciousness is now big. And we are, when we are complaining and all, then we can also somewhere in a subtle level we can feel that okay, it has shrink now.
True,
And
true.
that's why we are not feeling that expansion.
True.
I
Gurudev
guess
says now, if you have to complain, complain about something really big. What is happening to this planet? Why is this climate like this? What can we do to improve the environment around it? And you have to grumble about something big. No, no harm in grumbling. Just make the dimension bigger.
let me tell you one joke. uh,
Go ahead.
I just completed my engineering and I was there in
Okay.
Pune that
Okay.
time.
What's
And
your branch? What's your specialization?
electronics
Okay.
engineer. So I had couple of friends around me, and we used to just sit in cafes in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And they, whenever we meet friends, they say another looking at our face. Oh, why you are looking so fresh? Oh, you are looking so
Mm-hmm.
dull. What happened? You are बहुत दुखी लग रहे हो, क्या बात है? Maybe something else is going on in my mind. They used to say something like that. Means in the first bang, okay, oh, आज तो बहुत अलग मूड में हो, क्या चल रहा है? तो they used to say all these things to me. So I have not done the art of living course, but this thing I used to tell. I just I was there in a cafe, and I repeatedly used to do this thing. Someone when comes and asks me, अरे क्या बात है अभिषेक, इतना दुखी क्यों लग रहे हो? क्या बात है अभिषेक,
Mm-hmm.
आज थोड़ा सा कुछ बीमार हो क्या, उदास से लग रहे हो, कुछ हुआ क्या? Something happened to you, are looking so sad. And I said yes, really something happened. So they used to get concerned. Okay Abhishek, tell me what happened. क्या बात हो गई? मैं बोल रहा, क्या बताओ, क्या बात हो गया मेरे साथ? तो मैंने, नहीं, tell me ना, I'm your friend, tell me. Because in Somalia so many people, children are dying with hunger. I'm very tensed about it. So then they used to laugh. No one
True.
thinks about the bigger problems which is happening. Sometimes I
Absolutely.
do just tell, I'm so much tensed. See what
Mm.
is happening, climate change and all the trees are being cut. People don't think about it in the general
Mm.
public. So I used to like that time joke around it, but today I when I do these sessions, I make something happen, some project, then I feel like
Mm.
okay, that joke turned reality, is turning reality some or the other how.
Mm.
That time my consciousness just brought it out as a joke or something like that. Like okay, let's do
Mm.
something for the world. Let's do something, a big project and all. That time I had no resources, no Art of Living platform was there with me. So everyone
Mm.
used to laugh at, okay, this thing is happening. What we can do to uh, cure terrorism around. Uh,
True. We take up anything like this and work collectively together, form a team and work. So much can be done actually. In fact, the course I teach, it's called English for Business in the university. They have a
yes.
problem-based learning project like this. They have to address a real humanitarian problem in the world. They have to identify the problem, identify the country, and then they have to suggest solutions for the problem through a charity that they will start in that country. So they have to visualize how this is done, how the organization structure will be, how the funding will be collected. They will have to create a website for publicity about their project. It's an amazing project, actually. At the end of the project, they are really different human beings. When they do their final presentation on the basis of this project, they have so much to share, and they have actually thought about it. And I say, I hope you really bring this and make it a reality in life by actually going and doing it in that country at some point in time. So I think curriculum also should help us to move from our petty, small mind to our big mind by bringing this into our curriculum. When youngsters, this what you shared, Abhishek, though you said it like a joke, but it is a very important thing, the fact that you thought like that, and you gave that as a reason as well as to why you're thinking. If this is part of a curriculum, imagine how much the youngsters will mature in their understanding of what this world is all about, and how much they can actually contribute towards, in smaller numbers, do it silently, but do it effectively in small pockets around the world. So much change can happen for the better. It's just like you plant a tree and you make a difference. These days, where all of us, some of us have decided whenever we give a gift, we give a plant instead of anything else, so you give a plant to people. So now lots of people, when they come home, they get a return gift as a plant. So everybody has a plant now growing in their house, and they keep sending pictures, the plant has grown, the plant has a flower now, and it feels nice. Rather than give just flowers, you give a plant instead, and that plant grows with you. So small changes, small interventions. If every house has a few plants which you have gifted, and you keep gifting people plants instead of, gifts that they will never use anyway, it makes a difference. And you can give a fruit plant, nothing like that. They grow a fruit plant, you can get fruits out of it.
And we can feel that sudden expansion in our consciousness when we talk about this also.
Yes.
When we are talking about bigger things, then obviously all the worries
It's all
go and
Gurudev making
all
us think
problems.
like this together.
Yes. It was wonderful, Didi. It was nice to converse with you. And
Pleasure is
uh,
mine.
yes, this session was filled with many guru stories, many challenging stories, many inspiring moments, many motivating moments. And somewhere or the other, Didi, uh, you're a role model for many people.
Oh,
So
thank you. Thank you so much.
keep doing the work, keep being who you are. And really, this session has a lot to learn. Means we all can learn a lot from this session. Make sure all the people who are watching this do share it with all the people you know, mostly art of living volunteers. They can understand Guru stories better. And do subscribe this channel also. We are doing the sessions daily without a single day fail for I don't know how many days. I have lost the count, like how many years we are doing this. So, and Didi, before we conclude, any last message you want to give to all the people who are
First of
watching?
all, I want to thank you, Abhishek and Subhanki, for initiating and coordinating this very, very effectively. And, the way we seamlessly was able to put this together. Thank you very much for considering me as a guest speaker in your sessions. I thank Gurudev for this opportunity to grow and blossom in life, each one of us in our own wonderful way. And we are very, very blessed to walk the path when our Guru is alive on this planet. And that is the biggest blessing that we have, which we should always, always be grateful for. And I truly believe the three G's. If your Guru is in your life and you move with gratitude, grace, infinite grace flows in your life. You just have to avail it. It's like the sun that comes through the window. You just have to draw the curtains and open the window. The grace is always there, always, always protecting us, uplifting us, telling us to do more things with our lives, and not to be slack about the skills that you're gifted with. Gurudev always says the gifts that you have been given, the skills you have been given is for others, not for you. So don't be stingy about it. I mean, my appeal to everybody is whatever skills and abilities, each of us have our own strengths, and you should share it as much as you can to the planet here. So somebody out there will benefit simply because you walk this planet. Thank you so much.
Abhishek, please, before we end, just give me 1 minute. Didi, this was an awe-inspiring session. It was just amazing. I just have no words to express. But I just need your permission. Can we invite you to our school for enhancing
Where is this?
English? Just a
Sure.
school,
Sure. Where is
secondary
your
school.
school?
We are from
Where is
Odisha.
the school?
I'm from Odisha, ma'am. I'm from Odisha, and the
I'll
name
come
of
to
the
Orissa. You let me know when you want me to come.
no. Can we have it online?
You let me know when you want me to come to your school.
Didi,
Yes, we can have it online.
online, no? So it will
Just go.
be, yeah,
Yes.
for enhancing their knowledge, English knowledge, their vocabulary, and even for the teachers. Will it be possible? You can take a session online.
Sure.
Okay, that's great. Thank you
Why
so
not?
much.
Why one session? We'll have a series of sessions if you want. You just let me know what you want and when you
Okay.
want it and how you want it, and it will be delivered.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, you
Thank
take
you.
my contact details from Abhishek and Subhangi
Yeah,
and just coordinate with them. Yeah,
thank you so much.
definitely.
It was a beautiful session. I loved it. Thank you so much, Dev. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aparajita says it, Didi says it really rarely. So it's the day. Thank you so much, everyone. So much for being